See you in a month or two. Take care, everybody. See you in a month or two. See you in a month or two. F is for Family Season 2. After a less than stellar but very charming first season, F is for Family Season 2 comes out swinging. It's got nearly double the episode length following the Christmas finale in Season 1, and it's twice as funny on the back end of it. The stories feel more expansive, and the show takes a step back from centering the show squarely around Frank Murphy, which wasn't an easy task, I'm sure. Man is very full of himself, as we'll come to find out later in the season. Before we get back into the review, make sure you watch the one that I did on Season 1, it'll be in the description, and you'd be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't see my thoughts on that before you watch this video. It's one of my favorite older videos editing-wise too, even though it came out 3 years ago. Like and subscribe, you guys know the deal. Support, it definitely helps, and with that out of the way, let's jump right into Season 2. Our first cold open of the season, and we start on a high note, or low note rather. Set to the tune of some whimsical 60s music that I won't play for even a second because I refuse to play around with YouTube's copyright claiming system. I made a whole video dissing about that if you all want to check it out. We see how Frank went from an optimistic, slick back type with the top down to the gloomy, child-ridden sad sack he'd become in modern day. Although to be fair, 3 weeks of unemployment will do that to you. Sue remains hopeful that Frank will get a call back from his old Mohican job, but with an amazingly timed advert, that call seems all but non-existent. Side note, but I love the detail of Pogo either still being in the car or too fat to get to the shoot, so they had to use a cardboard cutout. Not even Colt Luger shaking in front of a green screen can get Frank's mood up. Speaking of the TV, I like how it's one of the many consistent vessels the show uses to throw jokes at us, usually at the expense of the raunchy 70s culture, but they can be a bit too on the nose sometimes.
The answer is perpetuate. Perpetuate. The question, how do they charge you in a Vietnamese deli? Yes, those people are dog eaters.
Ooh.
I just had the worst dream. You were having another kid. Maureen's the last one, right? Tell me she's the last one.
Ooh, just you wait and see, Frankie boy. Speaking of kids, the Wonder Trio is pretty shaken up too. Never thought we'd hear Kevin of all people wishing Frank would go back to yelling at them. Though to be fair, going from a household of yelling every day to straight radio silence would be crazy whiplash. And there go my eyeballs. How he even has the willpower to jerk it that strongly considering that their thermostat is on 50, I'll never know. In less vision-killing news, a surprise snow day prompts Sue to take the entire family out on a sledding trip. Hopefully there's not any spare polio or whatever crawling around this landfill that they're going to.
Fun day starts now! Hey! Looks like your boy dinged my dangler.
Sorry about your van. I'll pay for the damages.
I can't take bread from a main man who lost his gig.
Hey, Frank,
You should go to Hawaii, man.
see a volcano, drink a volcano, be a volcano.
Have I ever told y'all how much I love Vic Reynolds? Like, as much as he is disgustingly and flagrantly expressing how rich he is right in Frank's face, I know he means well. The parallels between Vic and Frank and BoJack and Mr. Peanut Butter are actually kind of astounding. Well, aside from the cocaine part.
He's a drug addict, Sue.
From here, everyone breaks off into their own little groups. Maureen hangs out with the two dumpster kids, Kevin hangs out with his friends who are definitely being failed by the American education system.
Are you forgetting about that fox at the lake I boned all last summer?
How come we never met her?
I told you, she died of leukemia.
Last time you said it was polio.
Polio is a gateway disease to leukemia.
Jenny Throeder gets to annoy Sue by talking about her totally not but obviously is very gay husband, and Bill and Big Head here, I forgot his name, put it on screen, are busy getting bullied by Jimmy. The dialogue in this episode flows really nicely once they get in the swing of things. There's so many little moments here that make this episode special to me, but it's quickly interrupted by Jimmy hitting a mean three-piece combo.
Only your butt got wet. What the fuck is wrong with you?
He almost drowned as a baby, you heartless whore.
I did?
Kevin's so dumb, I can't, bro. Frank ends up having to take Maureen to the hospital. I get that it's a joke, but I don't like how they seriously all forgot Kevin after he just fell into an ice lake ass first, where he ends up crashing out so hard that he passes out, which might seem like an L at first, but hey, it gets his kids some medical attention and gets our head of household back to his regular old cynical self. Hooray for screaming and yelling. Hopefully your medical plan covers all three of y'all. The family celebrates dinner, which, first of all, let's look at the food that they got.
3 plantation dogs, an Uncle Tom turkey platter, white meat supreme, 2 Clux clams.
I can't even begin to explain that. But second off, $13.89 for the whole meal? For a family of 5 in this economy? I can't fill my tank with no damn 13. Hell, I can't even feed myself for the day with 13, let alone my whole family. And he got the nerve to complain, doing a little, I could have sworn I had more cash in here shuffle. Like, stop yelling at the poor waitress and pay your damn bill. Sorry, bro, food service just gets me heated. I'm glad Sue tipped, because that would have tipped me over the edge. The episode ends with a bittersweet note as the family pile back into their frigid house. And oh, what's this? Someone's on the answering machine.
We used to work together at Mohican.
Man, that could be anybody.
It's Bob Pogo.
Oh my god! Jokes aside though, Heavy Sledding is a really good episode. It's jam-packed with funny jokes, some good action, and does so while sowing the seeds of the 2 biggest plots we'll see this season. Frank Murphy trying to pull himself back up from his bootstraps, and Sue being more than capable of doing so on her own. And so begins this season-wide conflict of suffragette outrage.
If you don't lose that weight from the baby, he might just say doo-doo-doo.
Bro's got a set of pipes on him though, not gonna lie. Episode 2 starts out positive enough. Frank's on his way to getting his old job back, which means he'll be nicer to the kids, sans Kevin of course.
Dad, can you buy me a new guitar?
Fuck no.
It almost means that Sue can quit her plasterware job too. Interesting how the dynamic has switched since the 70s, because I can't think of the last time I saw a show or piece of media recommending that the women be stay-at-home housewives, and that was actually serious. But after all the BS Sue's have to put up with thus far, her and Frank are more than ready for her to return to her post, so to speak. Well, Frank's more in it for his own benefit, but credit where credit is due, I guess.
You could do whatever your heart desires as long as you're home by 3.
But speaking of jobs, how does Frank get his job back?
Frank, have you ever been stuck in a freezing Cadillac for 17 hours?
He's not getting his job back, is he? Yeah, despite how much they try to drag it out in a scene that mirrors the first time we ever met Pogo, Bro's actor has perfected the art of sounding perpetually out of breath. Frank was called in to train his replacement as opposed to getting his old job back.
If I could pull a trigger, I'd kill myself.
Funnily enough, in the newspaper from the last episode, one of the headings was a decline in the unemployment rate due to an uptick in male suicides, saying, quote, obviously our aim is to help everyone and we don't want to shoot anyone down here, but hopefully they'll pull the trigger on whatever course of action they need to take. I admit that last one did make me chuckle. Getting back to Frank though, yeah, he's pretty cooked, which all sets in on Sue like a ton of bricks while she tries to host Maureen's Honeybee Scouts group. I like the scene with Sue applying for the secretary job because it says a lot about who she is as a character without beating us over the head with it like in the previous season. In the cold open of this episode, Sue talks about how when she's with Frank, she feels like she can have it all, like she's on top of the world, and she wants to believe that in present day, even going as far as mouthing off to one of her brattiest customers, assuming that Frank would come back with his Mohican job.
I will have you fired! Please do!
But when she realizes that she's backed up against a wall, she doesn't break down. She embraces the challenge. She doesn't assume that she's owed her old position, but she apologizes for her actions and even manages to bargain her way into an even higher job. It's a true testament to how powerful Sue's will is and just seeing how much she'll do for her family. And spoiler alert, the male-dominated workforce will not be kind to women like Sue operating in the same place. The realization that their family might be poor kicks the boys into gear too, with Bill wanting to start a paper route, and Kevin, well, we already know what Kevin's trying to do.
The only hope this family has is for me to fulfill my destiny as a rock star.
Another solid episode despite being a big hit to the family's morale. At least Sue's on her way up the corporate ladder, right?
How fast can you type? I don't care. I can stare at that rack all day.
Ooh, this is gonna be a long season. The season is off to an amazing start so far, and we keep the forward momentum going with the Liars Club. Jumping right back into Sue's job, the higher-ups are tasked with creating a fancy new device that will make those pill-popping housewives throw up their purses in unison. Their words, not mine.
Those pill-popping housewives don't know the difference.
You know, if this wasn't super condescending and misogynistic, I would say I wish I could have a job where I just rage bait people like this all day. Like, this is Mordecai and Rigby levels of pissing people off with ease.
Looks like I got another quitter on my hands. Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry.
88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93.
It's sad seeing Sue have to deal with these jerks because very subtly, this dynamic between between her and her bosses tears a rift in her family. She becomes more combative and angry with Frank, also she can fight to make less than the people who berate and insult her every day. It's crazy how people could say women ain't shit when they had to put up with stuff like this. It hits especially hard because in middle school, this same mentality is what kept me from getting bullied. At the end of the day, they want something to laugh at, so either you give it to them or you become the victim of...
You big pussy bitch! Too far?
You get the point. Frank's plot involves him trying, if you can call it that, to apply for unemployment, but tucking his tail last minute out of shame. After watching some unintentionally hilarious commercials,
Love means never having to say, I have cancer.
Oh, you are cancer.
Frank ends up breaking down under the weight of realizing that he lost his dream job. Although technically he wanted to be a pilot initially before he got sidetracked with kids, so he lost his second best option, which I'm sure doesn't feel any better. He gets interrupted by Kevin, who is skipping school because of course he was. After a bit of back and forth, the two reconcile and try to get Kevin his own room in the basement. They end up tossing a bunch of stuff out in the yard, much to Sue's dismay, which prompts her to ask what the two were up to all day.
How did you get all this work done today anyway? Did you go to school?
Real man never lies. No, I didn't go.
Well, that's just great. And I suppose you didn't go to the employment office.
Hell yes, I did. And I resent the question.
I swear, if Frank Murphy ever asked a mirror who his biggest op was, it would show his reflection in crisp 4K, and he still wouldn't believe it. Props to Kevin for not snitching, cause boy, I would have been mad as hell. That shoe won't drop for another couple of episodes. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. At the very least, Frank ends up using the card that Rosie gave him to get some kind of job. Great episode, not much to say here.
In order to compete, we'll have to do the rig up some wiring, spray some asbestos, slap on some lead paint.
The rainbow mug changes color thanks to the hundreds of chemicals in the plastic.
The night shift finally starts to slow down with the family trauma and continues building up our season-wide plots. Kevin with his band, Sue with her new plasterware position, and Frank with his new job as a vending machine stalker. And in good time too, I think he was getting a little antsy being stuck in the house for so long.
He just watches the sands of his miserable life gather at his feet while his wife, the modern woman, throws on a pantsuit every morning and just... There's my worker bee.
I'll start with the Sue plot since it's the lightest on content. After eating some of Frank's soggy lettuce, I promise that's not a freaky innuendo for something else, and having to deal with her broken down washing machine, she gets the idea to make a tool that can spin dry lettuce. It's not much of a storyline, but the Colt Luger board gave me some good laughs.
Go to the San Cortez Regional Correctional Institute for kids.
I like how every time he tells you to go to jail, he has to specify what gender and what age.
To the San Cortez Regional Correctional Institute for broads. In the San Cortez Regional Correctional Institute for men. You just smacked a broad. Roll again.
On the flip side, Kevin and Frank's plots are a bit more connected. In the cold open, we get to see a more aggressive side of Vic when there's a complication at the radio station. But I mean, have you heard the stuff that they're asking be played on the radio? This is the shit that would play on repeat at my old job, and they would have the audacity to say that we couldn't wear earbuds. To be fair to the DJ and quote him directly,
It's a piece of bubblegum shit.
but apparently the song wasn't trash enough to not be coerced by that sweet, sweet nose candy. After witnessing a payola scandal waiting to happen, combined with a drugged out vision of turning into his father, Kevin swears that he'll get his band on the radio by looking for some coke of their own. This can't go well.
You looking for that white stuff?
Yes, sir.
Bring it over.
All right, Murph. What a bargain. Hey, boys. If you got a sandwich bag, I'll fuck all y'all.
Ah, the classic looking for coke and accidentally stumbling onto a hooker trick. Happens to the best of us. But we'll sidestep that for now and talk about Frank's plot, which is also pretty straightforward. We get introduced to Smokey, a very peculiar guy, who gives Frank a test run of his new job. After getting him acquainted, Frank accidentally drops the entire day haul in the street. I can't imagine what I'd do if my manager dropped every dollar we made that day on the way to the bank and lost it. I'd probably be on a list somewhere. Desperate to keep his new job though, Frank dives into incoming traffic to save his hide. At the same time, after Kevin and his posse are defeated in trying to look for drugs, they see Frank in the streets digging for quarters and dimes. Frank is risking his life for coins and a chance at a new job, arguably the highlight of his life thus far in the season, and Kevin, trying to be larger than life, sees this as his father's lowest moment. Now that's great storytelling. Kevin and Co end up getting 2 seconds of their song into the radio station, which honestly I would be pressed over too. That sounds awesome. and Frank successfully gets the vending machine job as well. And that was the night shift. It's not as eventful in terms of family drama because things are finally looking up for Frank, which is somehow even scarier than things going wrong, but still full of some nice jokes and the plot chugs comfortably along. Not sure why, but this episode didn't really wow me upon rewatch. I can't figure out if it's because there's too much going on or the plots take comedy over realism, but I wasn't crazy about this breaking Bill. Speaking of Bill, his plot involves him using his newfound job to buy a hockey stick, but because of Jimmy doing, what Jimmys do, he ends up losing the money he had saved up. Why he had the money in an envelope in plain sight of his bully instead of putting it in his book bag, I'll have no idea, but I'm sure Jimmy would have shaken the cash out of Bill somehow, so it's whatever. Bill and Philip end up stealing the hockey stick and knocking out a man with a fake woman leg to do so, while also pinning the blame on Jimmy for all of it.
Out with it! What's your name?
Jimmy Fitzsimmons.
Don't worry, that'll come back into play sooner or later. For now, Bill and all the kids in the city of wherever this universe is set can sleep easy. It's a pretty straightforward plot, but it gets a bit lost between the A and B stories. The B story follows up with Sue's revolutionary idea, now named the Salad Tosser, perfect name by the way,
My salad.
and her building a prototype for it. She tries to present it, but
It's a tad big, don't you think?
Well, obviously, a finished product would be much smaller.
It looks like a washing machine on a Lazy Susan.
Well, yes, that's what the prototype is, but...
Not even made of plastic! I don't want to have to ride a bike every time I make a salad!
I don't know, is it me or are these three just otherworldly levels of stupid? I get that they're already operating on women not smart enough to compute simple tasks timing, but it's kind of infuriating that they don't get the concept of a stereotype. The water going everywhere could still be the laughing point, but I figured they would have had one of the guys step off to the side and admit to Sue that her idea is perfect. This kind of reminds me of the pen signing debacle from season 1. It just feels like another case of them stretching out the comedy a bit too thin to make the plots last the entire season. The main story is my favorite, though I'm a sucker with anything involving Frank and Kevin. Kevin's such a lovable idiot, and his war with Frank this season only amplifies after he and his band get their song on the radio. Kevin's band, Merlin's Monocle, have a concert date, which you'd think would give Frank the idea that Kevin has some sort of initiative within his life, prompting Frank to angrily storm over to Vic's house and give him the business. This scene feels like another season 1 regression because why is bro's tip hanging out the entire scene? Like, just fully past the robe. And just when you think that's bad enough,
Man's gotta reach for the stars.
Grab his dick and twist it.
Oh my god, dude, this is an MMA fight, dude. Too much.
Twist that dick.
Twist his dick.
Frank's only hard on Kevin about his dreams because he never got to reach his dreams, as we get to experience with a flashback when Frank and Bob were becoming pilots together. I love how Bob no longer sounds perma out of breath, but he's still eating like a pig. Like, no way I just watched a grown man ash his cigarette with a damn piece of cake. The crazy part is, Frank attributes his dreams being crushed to the birth of Kevin.
I sure ruined your life.
Yes, you did.
But whose fault was that really? I guess it's just one of those character growth moments that has to happen for Frank because honestly, it's hella selfish for you to be this callous to your own kids because of a mistake you decided to make. But he's still failing his classes, so let me not defend Kevin too hard here.
He's such a jerk. He's a bigger Hitler than Mr. Hitler's brother Hitler.
Kevin ends up playing to a crowd that Beatrice Horseman would probably beat up if she ever got the chance, which reassures Frank that Kevin's dream has been sufficiently crushed. Dad of the year, everyone. Too bad this one girl actually loved their performance, giving Kevin and friends just enough hope that their dip into success is right around the corner. The episode ends with Frank driving back home to go stock them candies and getting a flat on the way home. Not crazy about this episode. I'm damn sure crazy about this one though. After Breaking Bill gave us a brief intermission, this episode lives up to its title and proves to be the most turbulent day of the family's life. All because, and here's the kicker, Frank decided to pick up an early morning shift. All the while, his daughter had a club meeting, his younger son had hockey practice, and his wife had an ultimatum that would have been suited for marital discussion. Meanwhile, Kevin was busy, living that rock star life. The episode starts off hilariously grim with Frank lashing out more than usual due to taking too many night shifts with Smokey. As an ex-graveyard shift worker myself, I can admit that it's very addicting. But what I cannot admit to is taking a morning shift straight after, especially if he wasn't already scheduled to do so. Moreover, he already told 2 of his children that he'd take them to their respective clubs before he took the shift. But Frank is Frank, so who do you think he's gonna blame for this?
Yeah.
You have to take me to Honeybee Scouts at 1:30.
Christ, so how many kids do we have? Back in the old days, the good Lord had the decency to take 1 or 2 out with polio, or get mauled by a bear. Something to help out. Jeez!
Classic Frank Murphy. While he's running a new morning route, Frank ends up having to stop by Mohican Airport, where he's stopped by Bob Pogo. Despite how heated their last interaction was, Bob is begging for Frank to take his old job back. I haven't spoken about his replacement since it wasn't super relevant yet, but if y'all remember the CEO from last season, Roger Dunbarton, he decides to employ a bit of nepotism and places his son, Scoop, in the mix. His performance thus far has been a little, He is a work in progress. While Frank and Bob chat in the candy truck, Bob tries to offer Frank his old position back in Mohican, under the pretense that they have to work together to find a way to get rid of Scoop.
I've got a proposition for you. Help me get rid of Scoop, and I'll make Dunbarton hire you back.
Bob, if you had asked me 2 weeks ago, I probably would have said yes. So thanks for the offer, but my answer is no. Fuck no.
Well, this is not good.
He said it! He said it!
Bob ends up crashing out and eating half the van away, prompting Frank to have to pay $160 back to Smokey that he does not have. With his stash of money washed away due to Kevin's IOUs, Frank takes his only other option and steals from Sue. It's heartbreaking to see, almost as heartbreaking as watching Sue come back home and realizing, yo, what the hell is going on back there? Let me finish the Sue plot first, damn it, we'll get to that. Sue's boss, Vivian, ends up digging her salad tosser plans out of the trash and loving it. Thankfully, she has the means of getting a proper prototype and the power to take the invention straight to the head of the company. Her means of paying for the prototype are less than ideal though.
Nikos can only do it tonight, and it's gonna cost us $300 total. You need to get me your half by the end of the day. Today? 150? It's either that or you give Nikos your dirty panties and a Polaroid of your cooter. I'll get the money! Now to pay for my transmission.
So when Sue goes into the house and sees her stash of money gone, she's torn between giving up on her new invention or selling off her marriage locket. I feel bad for both parties here, more so Sue because she doesn't end up stealing from her partner and her money's going towards a passion project. But both situations were caused by factors out of their control. The worst part is... Oh my, okay, let's talk about the Kevin plot. The girl from last episode gave him a time and place to do the horizontal no pants dance, so Kevin's been up all morning, practicing, so to speak.
Latex, my dear.
The energy, drive, and commitment it takes to goon to a textbook image of a vagina, magazine covers of women fully clothed, and a damn roast beef sandwich. If you didn't have any motion before the internet times, I salute you because you really had to scope some shit out. That being said, Kevin's ass is as white and naked as the Twin Fantasy album cover. The time finally comes to go to the girl's house and get some trim. But when the time comes, he arrives to the station a little early. Not one to be a one-pump chump though, he manages to break the dam again and chip the girl's tooth while doing it? I think that went as horrible as it could have possibly went. He goes home only to find that he's been locked out, and the only other person outside is Vic's girlfriend who...
It's freezing out.
It's cold and hard.
Oh god. It's still not as bad as watching Big Mouth. This episode was just gut punch after another, whether that was because of the amazing comedy or the tragedy that is the Murphy family. And again, all this because Frank Murphy just had to go into work today. I didn't even mention how Bill broke the stick that he stole because he couldn't get a ride to practice, although that could have just been retribution from him stealing it from the store. At this point in the last season, things would definitely be getting ready to hit a boiling point, so I'm not sure if I'm ready for whatever's about to happen next. I just told you I wasn't ready for what's gonna happen next, and they gonna name the episode Fight Night. Yo, we are cooked. Side plots. Bill ends up skipping school because of his growing hatred for his dad. Through that hatred, he ends up bullying Philip and they stop being friends. Don't care. Next one. Sue meets up with the Plasticware founder. She gets a little pushback, but they're gonna pitch the damn thing. It's a great ass idea, obviously, so don't care. Next one. When is this big fight gonna happen? Vic books Kevin's band for a party, but Kevin feels bad that he smashes Vic's girl. Obviously, she bad as hell. Don't care. Next one.
How old are you? 14. 14? Oh my god, I thought you were just short!
How could you not know? Look at him!
Look at his face! Look at his face!
I understand that.
This show is so weird, bro. Like, Vic has done so many odd things that honestly, I believe the girl thought that Kevin was a midget. Short person, I don't know, it's the 70s. Main conflict, finally. Our meteoric heads of household have temporarily forgiven and forgotten because it's their wedding day. Shout out to the animation here because it's actually pretty fluid.
Dun 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 dun. Wedding song!
After a long day of Frank getting his wife a present and Sue pitching her invention, the two set out for a night on the town before they get called into Maureen's school. Wait, whoa, Maureen plot? Oh, this might get interesting. Apparently she aced a statewide test, but because she's a girl and because she sat next to...
Scott, will you come in? This is Scott at Chicala. As you can see, Scott is a boy. An Oriental boy.
Did the teacher make the kid stand in the hallway for dramatic effect? Because if so, that's insane.
Come on. Do math.
But yes, this is enough to give the teacher reason enough that Maureen cheated. And Sue says one line that tips Frank right off the scale.
I am so sorry. This kind of thing never happened when I was watching the kids.
Oh, this is my fault. You're the one who left her family.
I had to work after you lost your job.
If we could bring the discussion back to your daughter's cheating on a test.
You should be thanking me. I got a job and kept this family fed when you were pulling your weight.
I'm pulling my weight now. And you should be glad I called Rosie to get that job. Because now I... Wait.
You told me you got that job from the employment office.
I never said that. I said it went down there.
You said you got it from there.
All right, I lied. I fucking lied. Is that what you want to hear? No, nobody wants to hear that. But I didn't take a handout. I'm bringing money in. You took money from me. And why the fuck are you hiding money from me anyway? I thought we were clean. So you wouldn't blow it on another fucking TV. Oh, you're gonna throw the TV in my face? Well, I didn't hear you complaining when you were watching the Rose Bowl parade.
Oh, Frank, look at the begonias.
You stole from me. It was your precious truck and your rubber. Well, if I had a rubber 15 years ago, we wouldn't be here today. You said you had control. I said that in the missionary position. You're the one who turned over.
Okay, now we're getting unserious. Even in the pits of family drama, they never cease to make me laugh. It doesn't even feel right trying to critique this argument to say who's right and who's wrong. At least not yet anyway. Give it a couple more episodes. Until then, just know that Frank's now in a desperate bid to get his Mohican job back. Everyone in the house sitting in their bed all sad, and most importantly, uh-oh. Honestly, this episode flew by pretty fast for me. There's a lot of good jokes here, but it's another episode that just kind of sets stuff up as the season comes to a close. Jimmy comes back and swears revenge after Philip accidentally reveals that he and Bill are the reason he got sent to military school. Kevin's still sulking about playing footsies with Vic's girly pop. The most important takeaway is Frank and his Mohican crew are making a plan to make Scoop go away, so Frank can get hired back.
Who wants to get erect watching robot bears do stuff to each other?
After that horrible display of animatronic bears getting a little quirky at night, Frank goes to talk to Sue to work out their marital disputes, but it goes as well as you'd expect. Frank thinks the only problem the duo is having is concerning money, so now that he'll get his old job back through contrived methodology, the world is saved. Unsurprisingly, the world is not as cut and dry. We get treated to another flashback, which I gotta say really helped fill some of the gaps and bend some of the more emotionally diverse moments in the season. This time we see Frank make a promise to a recently pregnant Sue that he'll always be her co-pilot, which is sweet. Not at all true in present day, but hey, I'm sure the intent was there back in 1958. Frank tries to reason with Sue, but the last thing he told her was to calm down, I'll smoke, and then we'll talk like adults. So respectively,
Don't nobody want to hear your bullshit, newbie? Okay. Don't nobody want to hear it?
after sulking for the last few episodes, it's finally time for Kevin to play at Vic's party. But he can't seem to shake the feeling of guilt after smashing his main lady. So at the last minute, he decides to go off the books, and it is amazing.
Finally got laid, but now the piper must be
I love everything about this setup, from the shocked and confused faces of everyone at the party, the way Kevin's singing through his tears, the little comments made about the song.
Did I understand that 30-minute song correctly?
And lastly, I love the crash out that occurs after Vic finds all this out. Because who thought the constantly coked out of his mind music exec, well, ex-music exec since he actually got fired at his own party, was going to be mentally stable after hearing that a 14-year-old banged your girlfriend?
Don't forget to take your fucking gift bag!
I feel so bad for Vic here. Drug addict or not, no one deserves to be cheated on like that. Makes me wonder how she even ended up naked with Kevin in the first place, honestly. Bill and Philip kiss and make up, but without the kiss part because ew, gay, right? Sorry, I've been stuck in the 70s for too long. They get the dumpster kids to help them take out Jimmy with a Rugrats meets Saw type plan. This little kid is actually a menace. Too bad it goes about as well as a child-made plan could go if your name is anything but Stewie Griffin. Well, time to pack it up. Jimmy's about to whoop these kids' ass.
Oh, man.
Not again.
My name is Jimmy Fitzsimmons!
God, I love this show. Bill rushes Jimmy to the hospital, surprisingly, which puts a nice little bow on their friendship? I guess you can call it that now. Funnily enough, their friendship manages to stick out to the end of the series. But enough little picture stuff, we gotta talk about the big one here. What's the deal with Frank and Sue? Frank has finally decided to listen to Sue to fix his marriage, so the two go on a pray-away retreat, and of course he's apprehensive about opening up, as Frank is about anything that involves emotion.
I was always taught to keep things to myself. We didn't burden other people with their problems. It's considered impolite.
Safe to say nothing's changed in society over 50 years later.
I lost my job, and how did you support me? I got a job to feed the whole goddamn family! Yeah, a job where you're doing better than me!
And we found the root of the problem. It seems that Frankie here has been harboring some jealous resentment towards his own wife. I'll let him tell it.
So when I got fired, I lost 2 jobs. Mohican and being head of our house.
You go off and get this job, which is fine, but then you invent your salad thing, and it's a really good idea.
It's brilliant. That's why, I don't know, I guess it bugs me that my dream's in the past and yours is ahead of you. It looks like you're gonna do a lot better than me.
But as a man, I have to be doing better. But what am I?
And that's why, I guess deep down, in a roundabout way, I was hoping that you'd fail.
Now all of his previous actions start to make sense. He's jealous. That's why he picked up so many shifts once he got his candy truck job. He's jealous. That's why he puts up a facade about Sue leaving her post and abandoning the family. In reality, he's envious of how his wife seems to have it all. And for just a moment, you start to feel sad for Frank. Until you think for more than 2 seconds.
Motherfucker!
Now, I will play devil's advocate for 2 seconds. Let me finish. I can understand why Frank's upset here, in terms of comprehension at least. I can see how he would feel beaten down by all of these things happening to him at once, him losing his job and watching Sue soar at hers. However, Sue's been nothing but supportive since the moment the season started. She only got the job because Frank failed to get his job back, and they would have been homeless otherwise. And if Frank was ever listening to Sue talk about her job, she absolutely hates it.
I need you now more than ever.
Especially after I humiliated myself at work the other day.
You're the only person I can turn to, and
Even with her making the salad tosser, it's not exactly like she's having fun getting talked down by her male bosses every single day. So no, I'm not Team Frank, and honestly, that realization would have been means for a divorce on the spot. Recognize the red flags, y'all. In the home stretch now with our explosive finale, Landing the Plane. This one has my personal favorite cold open just off of the song they choose. Look it up, I don't know what it is off the top of my head. And with the creative side-by-side sequence of Frank and Sue getting ready for their respective big plays at work. Sue wastes no time cheating Frank for his earlier comments at the retreat, and you can really see how all the name calling at work has perfected her roasting game to a T.
well, maybe the airline can raise your kids, be your cheerleader, and still have sex with you when you don't shower for weeks after getting fired on Christmas.
After a less than stellar exchange of words in an attempt to apologize for his actions.
Before we leave like this, is there anything you want to say to me?
Anything at all?
Breakfast sucked.
Frank heads over to his job to complete Operation Scoop. On Sue's side, to no one's surprise, the exec guy's products suck elephant snot. So when the founder of Plasterware pops out with the salad tosser, it's obviously a very welcome surprise, but with a sickening twist.
Tell us, Henrietta, how did you come up with this brilliant invention of yours?
Well, it's an amazing amazing story. I can't take credit for it. Chin up, tits out, Sue. It's your time to shine. God gave me the idea when my washing machine broke down.
Oh my god, she's stealing it? Not necessarily.
My husband, Frank, wanted to put it through a wall.
Oh yeah, she's stealing it.
It still hurts me every time I watch this plot. Of course the suits are gonna steal this idea. Of course they're gonna take credit for Sue's idea. But after seeing her fight for her job, fight with their bosses to even get a shred of respect, conceptualize, sketch out, and eventually hold her creation in her own hands, just for it to be stolen from her, as an artist, I have immense sympathy. And while we're on the topic, f you Netflix, and to a lesser extent YouTube, for not letting me post my K-pop Demon Hunters video. They didn't steal it, but it just felt right to say in a moment. Not to be one up though, Frank's operation goes just as wrong as it could go. As hinted at in that magazine from episode 1, remember with the suicide headline that was more like a suicide encouragement, there's been an increase in hijacked flights. Well, yippee-ki-yay, cause this plane is getting taken over today. After getting an apology from an understanding Vic, Kevin drives his siblings and his wasted on enemy wine mother to the scene of the hostage negotiation. Things are not looking good here, folks.
Buddy, if you shot me now, you'd be doing me a favor. My wife hates me, and for good reason. I haven't been there for her.
Let all these other people go. They've actually got something to live for. As for me, I deserve a bullet. So go ahead, just shoot me.
What you say?
Somehow, in the midst of all this chaos, Scoop manages to get his drunk, mentally challenged ass out of his bag and into the action. Good news is, everyone is safe. Bad news, Dunbarton's about to let Frank have it. I mean, to be fair, they did put bro's nephew on the plane.
Mr. Dunbarton.
Holy shit!
I think Dunbarton would have wanted us to take the rest of the day off.
I couldn't have said it better myself. After dishing his heart out and almost losing his life, Sue feels sufficiently loved in her marriage and the two hug it out. Now that Frank's probably gonna get his old job back and Sue's definitely gonna quit hers after this, it seems like the family has a chance at a fresh start. It's a way better note to leave on as opposed to season 1. What could possibly go wrong?
1, 2, 3, baby. 1, 2, 3, baby, 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 baby.
Oh, what the fuck? So that was F is for Family Season 2, and wow, what a season. It feels like an improvement on all fronts. It's got the comedy, it's got more plot intertwining, it's got the action. Every character except for Maureen gets their own growth arc this season as well. Sue wasn't really much of a character in Season 1, but now she's become an established member of the family. Frank's still as funny as he ever was, but now the show feels balanced in that he's not the only main character. He's a strong lead, just not the focal point. Every episode had something for me to love. Even the worst episodes were pretty good, if not a bit slow because of how many plot threads they had to set up. I give Season 2 a good 8.5, possibly even a 9 out of 10. There were a couple slow-paced moments in the middle of the season, along with some pretty tasteless jokes sprinkled in here or there. Plus the aforementioned Maureen just kind of tagging along in the back. It wasn't a bad thing, too many stories might have clogged up the runtime, but it was odd how all the characters had some type of season-wide story that got resolved by the end, except for Maureen. Maybe she'll get a bigger role in the future now that her family knows she's a genius. Y'all will just have to wait and see. Until then, thanks for watching and Godspeed to Season 3. So that was the F is for Family video. I'm looking at the Audacity file right now and I'm at 36 minutes. That's before editing, that's just recording. The last video was like 40 minutes, so it's looking like it's about to be another 40-minute excursion. I didn't mess up too many times in the script, so it's probably about to be like 30 minutes of talking, give or take. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Again, sorry this took so long. Trying to do more like of what the audience wants. I don't know, sometimes when I be thinking about video ideas, like I just be writing stuff and then forgetting about it. Like the script for this video was done probably in 2025. Like I just be having scripts just already done and just forgetting about them because I get so busy. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Like and subscribe, all that, I love you guys. Road to 10K. I don't know if I've already hit 10K because I have some videos that are supposed to be coming out before this, but hopefully 2026 is the year we hit 10K. You know, I want to go for 100, but I feel like my videos are kind of niche. So let's shoot for 10K, y'all. Come on, we can do this. We can do this. But yeah, that's it. It's enough talking out of me. This video is long enough. I'd have hit 40 minutes just talking, and I got to edit all this. So I'm gonna leave y'all to it. Thank you for watching again one more time, and enjoy the rest of y'all day.